Hi everybody, it's Yasmin Boland here. About to just quickly check in my diary here. I've got going live on Hay House Radio in a few minutes. Actually, oh hello. Say hello to me if you're there. Hello everybody. So it's eclipse day coming very soon. It's a bit exciting and I'm a bit nervous today actually. I've got a lot to get through, but I thought what I'd do is just before I go live on air on Hay House Radio, I thought what I'd do is I would do a little reading from my diary. Hello everybody, hello Isabel, hello Megan, hello Kathy, hello Karen. So it says, so here we are at the first eclipse of the season. This week brings the new moon eclipse and in 2 weeks we'll get the full moon eclipse. The new moon eclipses are like new moons on steroids. In other words, while new moons have traditionally been the time to make wishes, cast spells and set intentions, the new moon eclipses are that much more. Okay, so basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to say to everybody, be very aware. It is an eclipse. Now, if you're in the UK or Europe or America, it's an eclipse tonight. If you're in New York, I think. If you're on the West Coast, it might be an eclipse this afternoon. It's about 8 p.m.-ish UK time, which is going to be about... I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't remember the times off by heart. I think it's going to be 11 a.m. in LA, whatever that makes it in New York, and some ridiculous hour in Sydney. So what are you meant to do? Well, I'm going to be doing something on Facebook Live, which I would love it if you would join me. That's going to be tonight. I'm just going to get my stuff together here. I'm going to be using this rather beautiful thing, which is going to be, I'm going to use it to do a crystal grid. And for those of you who don't know, a crystal grid is basically when you get a whole lot of crystals. So we've got all these crystals here. I've only got about, I've got a few minutes actually. I'm going to do a reading in a minute. But I've got these beautiful crystals. I've got a rose quartz, a carnelian, a blue lace agate, an amethyst, and a labradorite. And they've all been chosen especially by Rebecca De Bono, my beautiful friend who is a crystal healer in Malta. That's my generator quartz that I've got there. I'm going to be using them to make a grid. Now, if you want help with your home or your family, and Pretty, I don't see you here, but if you need help with your home or family, Pretty, really good one for you to tune into because I know you're having some home issues before. But anyone who wants help with their home or family, we've also got a protective crystal as well tonight, an obsidian. We're going to be doing it at, again, I'm sorry, I think it is 11 a.m. in LA. What is the difference with LA and New York? Is it 3 hours? So it's going to be like 3 hours later. I don't know. You can check the website. It's all on there, my website, yasminboland.com. And here in England, it will be 7 p.m. In Paris, for example, it will be 8 p.m. And we're going to do this grid and it's going to be amazing. Yes, Ginny says she loves my nails. Thank you. I actually went and had a manicure because my nails were so wrecked and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm doing this Facebook Live and I'm doing it for Hay House USA. So I don't know if you have understood that I'm doing it for Hay House USA. It's the first time I've done a Facebook Live for them. And I'm going to be doing them every 2 weeks. Although I'm actually maybe going to go down to once a month because it's so much preparation and I've taken it I've taken up my whole life. But that's okay. It is the eclipses. And oh, thank you. Jane says New York EST is 2 p.m. So 11 a.m. in LA, 2 p.m. in New York, 7 p.m. in London, 8 p.m. in Paris, and some ridiculous hour, I'm really sorry, like 2 a.m. in Sydney. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, after I've done the Facebook Live, I'm going to download it to my phone and I'm then going to upload it to my newsletters, to my websites, and so on, if Hay House are okay with that. So what I was going to say was, yes, so Hay House, do you know how many people like their page? Like nearly 1 million people. So, I mean, I don't think all 1 million of them are going to tune in tonight, but there's going to be a lot of people. So I'm excited and nervous all at the same time. It's a new moon in the sign of Moonchild. I'm a Moonchild, so I'm going to take that as auspicious. I'm going to do a quick card. We've got like 3 minutes, so I'm just going to put these on so I can hear. Okay. Hello, George. Quote you all the time, George. It's George Lizos, spiritual teacher. Okay, this is a card for everyone. It's a card for everyone who who's watching and who watches later. I'm going to take that card there. That one. All right, here's our card. Oh, yay! A win-win forecast is... A win-win outcome is forecast. So that's good. You can watch the show here right up until I get Janelle Sharla on. Janelle Sharla is a crystal expert who's going to tell us if it's possible we're going to blow the world up tonight. Hopefully not. My big fear is I'm really new to crystals, and I'm very worried that I'm going to make this crystal grid, which I know is going to be really, really powerful. And I'm worried that if I make a mistake, everybody who's watching will make a mistake and I'll blow the planet up. And she assures me it's not possible, so I don't need to worry about that. And we're going to talk about the eclipse, and we're going to talk about the energies, and we're going to talk about how to make the most of it, and we're going to talk about anything else we can possibly think of that might be of interest to you. I think, Mindy, I think someone said it's 2 p.m. in New York. Thanks, Roger. Okay, I've got 1 minute. So yeah, if you want to listen to the rest of the show after I've done this live, you can tune in for the first sort of 10-15 minutes. Hop over to hayhouseradio.com, or if you're watching the rebroadcast, you want to hear the rest of the show, hop over now to hayhouseradio.com. Mwah. Just got a couple of minutes. Joanne, watching from Donegal in Ireland. Fab card for everyone. Yeah, really a fab card for everyone. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. All right, we're literally about to go live now. Okay. Here we go. There's the music. Hello, everybody out there all over the world. It's Yasmin Boland here, coming to you live and direct from London, England. It's a very, very exciting day in so many ways. Where are you in the world? I wonder. I hope wherever you are in the world, you're having an amazing, amazing time. I'm coming to you live on Facebook as well, Yasmin Boland. You can find me on Facebook if you want to see me doing this show, and Hay House Radio. Gosh, we love Hay House Radio, don't we? Such an amazing resource for so many people. So if I may say, I have high hopes that this is going to be a very, very powerful show. Why? Because the new moon eclipse takes place today. It actually takes place in about 4 hours time-ish, more or less. And so there are some really, really powerful energies around. We're going to be looking at the nature of this particular new moon eclipse on the show today. We're going to be talking about how to harness the energies in ways that can be honestly, positively life-changing. And I'm also going to talk about how to bring crystals into the mix. Yes, I'm still talking about crystals. I hope no one's getting bored of me talking about crystals yet, because I'm certainly not. If you're watching on the Facebook Live, you can see the crystals that we've got there in a beautiful box. And we're going to be talking about how to make a crystal grid to harness the energies of the new moon eclipse. And by the way, if you think that sounds interesting, I'm actually going to be doing that on a Facebook Live on the Hay House page, Facebook page tonight. So if you don't already like the Hay House page, sign up and you'll get information about tonight's Facebook Live, which is going to be, I think we've said it's going to be 11 a.m. in LA, 2 p.m. in New York, 7 p.m. in London, 8 p.m. in Paris, and then something like 4 a.m. in Sydney. I'm really sorry, Australians, but I've tried to vary the times. I'm going to be doing these every 2 weeks now. And some weeks it's going to be an Australian friendly time, and some weeks it'll be a UK friendly time, and sometimes it'll be an LA friendly time, but we're going to mix them up as much as we can. So we're going to be making a crystal grid. So there we go. So I've got a wonderful, wonderful guest on the show this week whose name is Janelle Sharla. And she is a really super cool and very, very well-informed crystallologist that I happen to have met in the last few weeks, thankfully, as crystal mania has overtaken my life. And so I'm going to be speaking to crystal expert Janelle Sharla, and I'm going to be asking her for reassurance that tonight when I do this crystal grid on the Facebook Live, on the Hay House website, on the Hay House web page, Facebook page I should say, that I'm not going to blow up the planet, because that's my big fear. As I keep telling everyone, I've read a few times that Atlantis was blown up because they were using crystal technology and their ethics outstripped their knowledge outstripped their ethics. And I don't think my knowledge outstrips my ethics just yet. But what I've been concerned about is, it's the Hay House Facebook page. They've got, just under 1 million people who like their page. So we could have quite a few people on the show tonight. I mean, on the Facebook Live tonight, hopefully making crystal grids with me. And I was a bit concerned, what if I make a mistake? Am I going to blow up the planet? But apparently not. Janelle Sharla will be on the show a little bit later to reassure us. But let's quickly, before we go across to Janelle, let's talk about this week. And quite frankly, it's a pretty momentous week. As you will have gathered by now, we're moving back into another eclipse season in a few hours. The last eclipses we had were back at the start of the year, and then in March we had the chaos of the planet of change, Uranus, moving from Aries into Taurus for a stay that's going to last till 2026. So it hasn't been the quietest year so far, and quite frankly it's not about to get any quieter. So let's talk about the eclipses to start with. These really are times of massive change, eclipse seasons. The way I like to think of them is as a portal to another life that opens up for a brief moment in time, and that's happening tonight. It's as if, it's like it's up to us if we jump through the portal or not. If you've seen the movie Sliding Doors, which had Gwyneth Paltrow in it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just have to see an opportunity and take it, jump through. That's what an eclipse is like, or that's what it feels like to me. The other thing about eclipses, though, is that they involve the karmic lunar nodes, okay? Now, every time I write about these in a magazine, the editors write back to me and go, what's a karmic lunar node? And I'm like, well, it's really complicated to explain. I usually like just to say they're points on your chart, but basically they're points on your chart which relate to the passage of the moon around the planet Earth as our planet spins around the sun, okay? That's how you get the nodes. What's really important here is that they are karmic, though. They're always involved in the eclipses. So think of it like this. Before we incarnate on planet Earth, our soul chooses a path, okay? Sure, I have no way of proving what I'm saying is true. However, I have been thinking and reading and talking and researching and asking questions about this for about 20 years. So this is my humble opinion after all that. So here we are on Earth with something our soul wants us to achieve, okay, whatever we've incarnated to do. Our soul wants us to evolve. That's, I think, pretty clear. So what happens? What happens is the human ego gets in the way and leads us off our path, okay? So we end up, for example, one of the best examples and something I experienced in a big way was, getting involved with someone who basically was anything but going to help us to evolve as a human being, or at least if he or she was going to do that, it was going to be a very toxic experience. Our human ego gets in our way. So what are you meant to do when you get off the track, get off the spiritual path, get off your evolutionary path? In my humble opinion, that's what eclipses are here to help us with, okay? So if we drift too far off our path, we actually can get ourselves back on our path at eclipse time. Doesn't matter how old you are either, even if you've got kids at school who you think they're off the path, talk to them tonight, do a little ceremony. okay? Do something special for the eclipses and talk to them about getting back on track. The problem is that if we resist doing it voluntarily, sometimes eclipses, they get a bad name for being a little bit of a shocker, because sometimes the eclipses will very unceremoniously shunt us back onto where we meant to be. I was so off my path once that I had this like life devastating breakup with someone, because it was so obvious to me and him and all our friends and everybody who knew me that this was a really bad relationship that I should not have been involved in, because it was stopping me from, you know, enjoying my life basically. And we broke up in an eclipse. And I remember looking at the eclipse in my chart and looking at my life and just thinking, wow, it couldn't be more textbook. It was like I didn't want to let go, and eclipses make us let go of what we actually need to let go of. If you would like to work with the eclipses, I would really love you to join me tonight for the Facebook Live on the Hay House page. You can also find your way there if you go to my website, yasminboland.com, and on the front page there, I have a massive big picture of a really good offer that's free, yasminboland.com. You'll get a new moon eclipse worksheet, a new moon eclipse wishing guide, and you'll get the details for the crystal grid. If you have a whole bunch of crystals, we've started with really kind of basic, simple crystals. So hopefully a lot of people already have them in their collection. And if you click the Get It Now, you will get all that for free: the new moon wishing guide, the new moon worksheet, and the crystal grid. And you'll also get an offer to buy my a PDF that I wrote, a new and full moon, because we get the full moon eclipse in 2 weeks, a new and full moon eclipse guide, which has a whole lot of stuff in there which I think you are going to love if you are into working with the magical energies of the eclipse. So yes, I have to admit I'm very excited about the eclipse. I remember at one point someone said to me, you know, why do you get so excited about eclipses? This was actually someone who was studying astrology. I wouldn't say she was an astrologer, but she was studying astrology. And I was like, because I've seen them literally change my life. Like once you start to watch what happens in your life at the time of an eclipse, you will see how it starts to change your life. It is quite amazing. So now what I want to do is I want to welcome to the show a wonderful woman who I happened to find. I basically tracked her down over the internet a couple of weeks ago now, because I wanted some help with getting hold of crystals for my beautiful readers, some of whom I'm seeing on Facebook right now saying they have their crystal kits ready for tonight. And I wanted to work with someone who knows what they're doing, because I really don't know that much about crystals. I mean, I've been reading lots of books. I've actually been reading an amazing book called Crystal Muse by Heather and Timmy, if you know. They're going to come on the show in the next few weeks, hopefully. But anyway, I found a wonderful woman named Janelle Sharla. Now, she lives in the UK, but she grew up in New Mexico. She's got a background in music and education. She's certainly been educating me, and she works as a therapeutic practitioner, specializing in a whole host of therapeutic modalities, including crystal healing and crystal therapy. She's actually made a special study of the historical and the science behind crystal therapy, which we'll have to ask her about. She's also an author and a photographer, and I'll tell you something, she is a really good crystal teacher as well. I actually found Janelle on YouTube, so if you look her up, her name is Sharla. It's spelt kind of an Italian way, I think, S-C-I-A-L-L-A, S-C-I-A-L-L-A. I found Janelle talking about crystals on YouTube, and I tracked her down. She's also written manuals, books, booklets on crystals. And so, can you hear me, Janelle? Welcome to the show. Nice to hear you, I should say. I've been hearing you a lot this week, haven't I? Constantly ringing you up and saying, tell me about this, Janelle, tell me about that. So let's start straight away, Janelle, with the big question about blowing up the planet, because I know you find it kind of amusing. So I have read many times that Atlantis blew up because their technology outstripped their ethics, and their technology was made of crystals. So, you know, tonight we're going to be making crystal grids. We know for a fact that quite a few people in the UK are going to be joining me on my Facebook Live because we've sold them their kits. We've put them together and sold them. So we know they're making crystal grids. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be people in America and Australia and France and Malta and gosh knows where else, all tuning in to this Facebook Live and watching me and hopefully making their own crystal grid. Now, what if I make a mistake? You're sure I'm not going to cause an explosion? It is the eclipse. I just want to get this out of the way.